All right, guys, we are live now on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously, and I'm excited about today. Last week, it was Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a great one. Well, in this particular week, we're going to have a great guest, a friend of mine, the president of Managed by Stats. And if you guys don't know what Managed by Stats is, it is an Amazon software. It's built for Amazon sellers, and it's a great tool that I've been using for many years. It goes back to probably 2016 when I started learning about this platform myself and I was introduced to it. All right, so I can tell you that this guy knows what he's talking about. I've been a friend of him for quite a while already. I've helped him on his company and their company Managed by Stats. They help Amazon sellers leverage some of the tools and opportunities of the world of Amazon, and I thought that it would be a smart thing to bring him here to you guys to talk about the world of Amazon and e-commerce and what's happening in this environment and what's happening in 2021 and beyond, because there's been a lot of things that have happened in the 2020 year, and one of those things is that there's been a massive acceleration of the Amazon platform, which is crazy to say because Amazon was already massively accelerated. But what's happened in 2020 has gone beyond what anybody dreamed inside the Amazon executive offices. They have massively taken over the world of the internet. There's crazy things happening right now. For example, when you look at the overall e-commerce, the overall internet, the numbers on the world, the numbers on the USA, every single dollar spent on the internet, every single dollar of billions and billions of dollars spent online right now, 50 cents are being spent on Amazon, which tells you how big of a deal this platform is. I'm a big fan of it. I don't talk about it enough. It is at the starting of my own entrepreneurial roadmap. And because of that, I want to give you guys more data about that because I've seen a lot of people recently in the world of business have to transition over to the internet because otherwise they will not make it. Businesses that did not adapt to the internet world are closing every single day, more and more. There's expansion going on. The economy seems to be picking up. There's good news in between all the darkness. And all those things are happening only for one reason. And that's because we have access to the internet. The internet has made it possible for us to survive through a pandemic like this. Imagine the world in 2002, 2004, before the era of YouTube, Facebook, internet, platforms like Shopify, Amazon, etc. Before these things really were taking over the world, imagine going over a pandemic like the one that we're going through right now. We would not make it. We will be on a massive economic meltdown. Because of the internet, we have made it. We have kept on moving forward. We have survived. Businesses have flourished. Many of us have flourished. The ones that took advantage of the opportunities did actually expand. In my case, 2020 has been a year of massive expansion business-wise. Some people ask me, how the heck did you accomplish that? Well, there's been a lot of expansion on my Natural Slim brand, a lot of expansion on my agency services. My knowledge in the world of marketing, our knowledge in my teams has been greatly increased in value. And because of that, I'm excited to talk to you guys about these opportunities. And today I have a special expert that's going to help us talk about that particular subject of Amazon. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now with Curtis Johnson from MBS. And we're going to be talking about this world of Amazon right now. So Curtis, can you hear me and see me well, man?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. How about me?
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear, man. Sounds good.
Perfect.
I was at your studio, I think it was last week already.
Yeah.
Was it 2 weeks ago or was it last week?
With Thanksgiving, it's really hard to remember anything that happened
know,
prior
right?
to Thanksgiving. Yeah. I'm still recovering from the food coma, so.
Oh man, yeah, I know. I went to Dr. Berg's house. Some of you guys know he's a big friend of mine and a client of mine, and it's hard for me to get too much off the rails with Dr. Berg. We actually had an event. The event was called "How to Survive the Holiday Season, Dr. Berg Style." So I go there and I help him run this event, and I had to walk the talk a little bit. So I didn't go out of control with my eating on that day. I have to be an example, Curtis. I don't know if you went crazy with that.
I didn't go as crazy as I've done in years past, but more than the normal dietary restrictions. But yeah, no, I'm really happy to be on your show. We had amazing value from you last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. So very happy to be here.
Well, super cool, man. I know that obviously you are on top of this incredible software called Managed by Stats that I'm a big fan of. We'll get to talk about a little bit more of some of the developments on the platform over the years,
sure.
and what's the opportunity on that particular software right now that you are recommending your sellers to utilize. We'll talk about that some more later on, but I think that people here are going to be interested in what are you seeing, Curtis, in this world of Amazon today? What's going on? There's so many questions that I have because you are living in this world way deeper than I am myself,
right.
because I'm more like on the e-commerce world and more on the internet and social media world. You're so deep into the Amazon world that I know you have a lot of data to share with us. So I want you to tell us all about it. First of all, what has 2020 meant for Managed by Stats, for Amazon sellers, for Amazon in general? What can you say about that?
Well, 2020 has been, I think we would all agree, the weirdest year in recent history. For Amazon, okay, there's the pandemic. Now, we can look at it from an emotional perspective, but since we're business owners, I'm sure most of the people watching this are business owners, we should really look at it from an analytical perspective, because the pandemic, especially when it comes to Amazon, has forced people, whether they like to or not, to, gravitate to the internet to purchase things. So if anyone hasn't looked at just Amazon stats in the year of 2020, that paints a pretty damn good picture. You can't escape the fact that their stock has skyrocketed because of hugely increasing sales. Now, we could get into categories.
Which by the way, I think this by skyrocketing, you literally mean skyrocketing, right?
Straight up and vertical.
I haven't been keeping track. I don't really like the stock market. I used to. I don't.
You and me both.
I don't control it. I like controlling things, but still, I find it interesting what's happening with this company. It is a $3,226 stock today.
I know. Yeah.
What the heck? Curtis, all we had to do was get loans left and right, get as much cash as possible 10 years ago and put it in, and we wouldn't be having to have this conversation and building businesses. We would just be buying properties in the French Alpines, man, and just like, whoa. I mean, if you think about it, just for example, 52 weeks ago, it was $1,600. So let's say that you put just pandemic, right? You go back to December 2019, 1 year ago, and you put $50,000 on Amazon. Today you have $100,000, right? If you go back, if you were to put $100,000 on Amazon 10 years ago or so, you probably would have about $5 million today.
And the thing that makes that even harder to track is the amount of times that they've split their stock. So you can't even just look at the straight dollar value, because if you owned stock a decade ago, you might have 10 times the stock now. So it's mind-blowing. And we can even look at Black Friday. Black Friday, Amazon did, or e-commerce did $10.8 billion on just Black Friday, which is a complete record. We're talking 15% greater than last year.
It's a little bit more than what I did. I did 250,000 that day. So just slightly more.
Just a hair greater. Now, interesting thing, and this is, okay, so especially for anyone who's on there that is strictly speaking Amazon, anyone who's on this, listening to this podcast, most people are used to the statistic that 50% of all gains in that arena come from Amazon. Very interestingly enough, for Black Friday, it was only 20%. So we have other competition building around. So what's the lesson there? The lesson there is, yes, have your strong Amazon business. And, Philip Jepson, the founder of MBS, and I've talked about this a couple times. You want to start on a platform like Amazon because you have certain criteria that make it very easy. The entry is simpler than other platforms. But once you get that really established, start broadening your horizons, because the game is spreading past Amazon exclusively, which is a really, really good thing. Competition is a great thing across the boards.
Right. So entry is easier. That's an absolute fact. And I hadn't talked about that point enough. I always talk about the fact that They have the audience and you don't.
That's
they
right.
have it and you don't. So you're leveraging the fact that they've been building that audience for many, many years. And because of that, it becomes easier for you to get people to pay attention. If you start, and I can tell you myself, I am a big social media marketing guy. I build a lot of e-commerce. I have a lot of data, and I will tell you if Curtis was not right on this, I will tell you, Curtis, I'm seeing all the data. If you are thinking about starting a brand and you have products that you can sell on the internet, it is an absolute no-brainer. Amazon is your starting point because they already have 100 million monthly unique buyers. Is it 100 or is it like 120 by now? I don't even know.
Well, I don't know. What is today? I'm sure it's drastically higher than we last checked. It's in that range. But yeah, they grow so much faster than every other company. But the fact that, now for at least Black Friday, they only encapsulated 19% of the overall market is a good thing because it means that more platforms are maturing, just like Amazon matures every day. And it's a really interesting, I do want to get back to the point though that you asked originally and something that I think was on the thumbnail itself, which is 2020, what should you be thinking with? How does that affect you as a seller? But Amazon, one thing that a lot of people should think with is that Amazon PPC is maturing a lot. It's not like Philip tells me about when he got into the game back in 2014, and you could literally just pay pennies on the dollar for ads and guaranteed return. It's not that simple anymore. A tip also, I have a couple tips that I'll give you guys, but it's definitely a matured platform over, even 5 years ago, even a year ago.
Right. Well, something that just to go back to what you said, Curtis, on which was very surprising to me, that 19% of sales were on Amazon and the rest were on other places. That's incredible. That tells you that there's been an evolution into other platforms because the Amazon opportunity, if you go back to 2012, 2013, all these sellers started looking at that opportunity and they went really deep in it because they already had a large audience and they had something called credibility. So when they saw that Amazon smile, they immediately trusted that smile and they would buy products that were on the platform. So that became like a huge deal. So it makes sense that Amazon themselves went really deep into that relationship with what they call merchants, third-party sellers, people like you or me that want to put the products on the platform. The rest of the population that are not marketers, that are not business owners, they did not really understand that relationship. And we take it for granted because we understand what it is. And we know that these products that are being sold are not being really sold by Amazon. They're really being sold by people like us. In our garages, in our homes, we're not. That's the way it was. I mean, you know the story of my bed sheets brand, Curtis.
Yeah.
I literally just took another brand. I took a label out and placed my own label that I printed on a machine and printed a bunch of these labels and started selling a lot. And we made it into a multi-million-dollar business. That was the Amazon opportunity. That was not really possible on the e-commerce side because if you wanted to start on your own site, let's say that you want to go to WordPress or Magento or BigCommerce or WooCommerce or Shopify or whatever the case may be, it takes a lot of money and energy and time to make it successful. And you have to have some big, big dollars to go down that route. And also you got to have patience. And a lot of us did not have patience. Now, what I can tell you right now in the world, I love this conversation. This could be such a heated conversation, but I can tell you it's very important for you guys to keep this in mind. What I can tell you right now is that for the rest of this year in 2021, there's going to start being a difference of like the entrepreneurs that make it, because the ones that make it on Amazon are going to have to be more knowledgeable. It's like what Curtis was just saying right now. At the beginning of the Amazon evolution with third-party sellers like us, it was so easy to do advertising and sell your products and rank products and get reviews. Right now it's a challenge. So right now it's all about the knowledge that you get, the group that you connect with, the software that you utilize, platforms like Managed by Stats that are going to give you some more help and some support so you can take advantage of these opportunities, because right now, not every seller is going to make it. If you guys think that the easiest path towards making money and being able to drink pina coladas at the beach is just getting started on Amazon and selling 1 or 2 products, it's not going to be the route, because it does take a lot of work, but you also have to stay educated. What's going to happen in 2021 and beyond is that the smart marketer, the one that is actually taking advantage of knowledge and ninja strategies and opportunities and all these things, are the ones that are going to make it in this particular environment. Otherwise, you will struggle. But I can tell you, Curtis, something that happened this year for me, which was interesting. You know how you said the 19%, going back to that number. Let me tell you what happened in Natural Slim. And in Dr. Berg too, which, these are 2 of my big brands. Dr. Berg has been a client of mine for 4 years. I've been helping him build his roadmap for many years now, and he's been growing like so incredibly over the years. He's the ketogenic diet king and amazing guy, right? Well, on Saturday morning, he sends me a text and he says, Manuel, do you know why my Amazon sales crashed Thursday and Friday? And I'm like, Doc, I haven't even checked them out. I know we broke records on the site, all right? And it was like record-breaking numbers that maybe 3 years ago we only dreamed about accomplishing. And he's like, yeah, but why did Amazon crash? All right. So then I went to the Amazon site, Seller Central, and I log in and I look at it, and yes, in fact, they crashed. I'm talking about from selling maybe $45,000 a day, we went down to $18,000, $20,000 in those 2 days. I go into Natural Slim and I log into Natural Slim Seller Central. We also have a pretty big brand there, and I check it and I see that in fact, sales also crashed on the Natural Slim brand. Dr. Berg is like, oh, I think it's because they didn't, this is our conversation, right? He's not a marketer. It's not his thing. My job is to educate him on these things.
He's a professional in the area.
He's a professional in the area, right? So he's like, Manuel, I think it's because they didn't send any orders, fulfillment centers were closed. And I'm like, no, the sales were actually, in fact, closed, crashed. It's what it was, Doc. I mean, I believe that there was such a push towards our e-commerce and so much branding on our e-commerce that we were doing, and so aggressive with our marketing strategy that people actually looked for that opportunity. So something interesting is happening, Curtis, and I want to hear your thoughts on that. I still think that the way you start is on Amazon, but you use Amazon as a launching pad so you can actually build your real business outside while you keep on getting cash from this machine, which is called Amazon, which in the end is not your machine, and they control it, you don't control it, but it's the way that you actually penetrate. Without Amazon, Natural Slim is not what it is today. Without Amazon, Dr. Berg would not have been able to finance all the advertising and the power that he's put into our team and all the other things that we do. So it is that launching pad, but it seems like long term, the numbers were like, I can tell you that we probably did about $600K on the Dr. Berg brand compared to maybe we did $50K in the Amazon in those few days. We did on Natural Slim, we did $250 on e-commerce, $500,000 over the phone with the phone consultants, $750,000 in a couple of days. On Amazon, we did 30 on those 2 days. So what are your thoughts on that, Curtis?
Well, it's interesting because again, I've had conversations with huge sellers. One strategy that works well in that area is you have your Amazon listing. A lot of people who are driving traffic, let's say from Facebook ads or just any other ads, and want to qualify that traffic before it gets to Amazon. Because here's the way you have to look at Amazon. Amazon wants you to drive outside traffic, but they want you to drive good traffic that converts well. So it's very intelligent to have it hit a landing page, which basically does the same thing as your listing, sells them on the product, and if they actually are interested, then now realize a key to Amazon is getting that high ranking. So when your search terms, when someone types in, let's just say barbecue tongs, you want to obviously be the first listing after the ads for barbecue tongs. So it's a very intelligent strategy to take that traffic from outside Amazon and drive it into Amazon. Now, once you hit the target of that first position, you don't need to send that traffic to Amazon anymore if you don't want to. You don't need to pay them that 15%. You don't need to, handle. Yeah. So it's a strategy. And here's the thing. And you probably run into this with social media marketing, ManyChat, Facebook, everything. There are as many strategies as there are advertisements. So you have to kind of pick the one that fits for you. But the concept of sending traffic there as you need it to keep that top position is a valid strategy, and then start cultivating those outside lines.
That's a powerful approach, and I absolutely love that, and I have never talked about it like that. I have always said, they ask me, Manuel, what do you recommend? Do I start with Amazon? Do I start with Shopify? What should I do? And I always say 100%, without a doubt. No question. Go with Amazon first. Without that, you're not going to be able to get that traffic on Shopify and have that credibility and convert at a high enough rate that's going to justify your advertising. You're simply not going to do it unless you're a unicorn like Dr. Berg or like my dad, Frank Suarez. Like, these guys are real unicorns. They build these audiences, these people all over the place. You can send them to the website, and if it has a Dr. Berg logo somewhere, people will trust Dr. Berg's site. That's the way it is. But if you don't have that branding, Amazon is the one that is actually going to build that branding for you. And I love this tip right here that Curtis just shared, because it makes sense and it goes exactly in line with what I recommend to you guys, which is Amazon is a social media traffic. Outside traffic is the best thing that you can do for an Amazon brand, if you want to rank it and if you want to get things going and generate reviews. The two most important things on Amazon, and again, I'll go back to you, Curtis, if you have another thought on this, but I believe that the main two things that we need to focus on as Amazon sellers is getting rankings and reviews, because you want to position yourself at the top. So my thought is that if you guys are going to do this, do what Curtis just said. Use social media traffic to bring people to Amazon, have them convert, and invest as much as you need to get that ranking to go up. Because if you become a marketing ninja and you start leveraging that social media traffic, Amazon will reward you for that, because they want more people on their platform. It only makes sense that the algorithm will reward you for bringing people in, because you got to understand that when they go there to Amazon, they not only buy your product, they buy other products, and Amazon takes a cut of every single thing that somebody buys on their platform. So they start loving you for that. And when they do that, you go up in rankings. So let's say that you are now ranked at the top of that product for some of those keywords out there, the most important ones, and your product is rolling. Well, what a great opportunity to switch that campaign direction, and instead of getting them to the Amazon listings, you don't need to go there anymore. First of all, you have to give Amazon close to 30% of your sale, generally, 25, 35% depending on your products, right? And then second of all, you don't need to do it anymore, because you're already ranked up there. At that point, you can start building your brand on Shopify, on Magento, on your own site, generating leads, whatever you're doing, because that's how you're going to build a real business. So I love that approach. Use social media, outside traffic, your email list or whatever, to rank products on Amazon. Once you get them to the top, you can actually just let that keep on going, optimizing, do PPC and other things like that, and now focus on building your brand off of Amazon. Correct, Curtis?
Absolutely. And this next little point is a really interesting observation that we see. And it's also kind of the niche. Now, granted, Managed by Stats isn't really a niche tool, because you can look at it this way. If you have your life cycle of Amazon, right? Someone is starting, they're researching what product to buy. They're going to then figure out how do they market it. Once they've actually been sourcing it, then they're actually putting together that listing, which is, again, obviously part of marketing. And then they're monitoring their sales, they're monitoring their PPC, they're making sure they don't run out of inventory. That's a whole life cycle. So to say that Managed by Stats is a niche tool isn't really accurate, because we have tools that fulfill every need on that life cycle. But what I find is it's actually mind-blowing that this isn't covered much more with every tool. And that is really a firm understanding of your KPIs. KPIs would be your key performance indicators. It would be kind of like this, Manuel. How ridiculous would it be if your client said to you, hey, how are my ads doing? And you went and said, well, we actually haven't logged into Facebook Ads Manager for your account in a really, really long time. But I'm sure they're doing great. unfortunately.
That used to happen a lot. By the way, that's the way that agencies were built. They would convince their clients that it's a long-term play. Right. And that, hey, you got to just trust the system. Social media, it's a long-term strategy, and you just got to keep on pouring money down the drain. And at some point, that's going to illuminate your brand and give you a lot of power back. And just trust the system. Trust the system.
That's right.
Believe it or not, that was a lot how the agencies were built. Not today. In places like Amazon and like Facebook and social media, I mean, you cannot escape performance. I can tell you right now, my clients, they need performance. And I have not always succeeded giving them that performance. It's marketing. I would be lying if I told you that I was 100% successful.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's all about that performance. Like on social media and on websites right now, you can track exactly what's going on. That digital footprint is out there. You know, we have codes. We can track activity. We know who's buying,
attribution.
Who's not buying. We know who's a failure and who's winning. You know, all that stuff is actually quite visible. And there's no more like, just close your eyes and trust me, and in 10 months, we're going to come back and find out if we were successful or not, right?
Yeah.
Attribution.
Yeah, attribution. And Amazon attribution is something that we're going to start seeing a lot more of recently, like probably in 2021. We're going to start being able to track, and I say we as in the Amazon community, you're going to be able to track really the traffic that you drive to Amazon, how well does it convert. But
is that ready already, Curtis? Is that ready? Is that something that we can talk about?
It's still very much in beta. It's still something that's in beta. We don't have access to it, for instance. Once we do, it'll be something that will be huge. It'll be huge because you'll be able to actually see, okay, I'm spending this amount ACOS. You're going to have your ACOS on and off Amazon, and you'll actually be able to compare the two and see which one is that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which right now you can't.
It's also going to open up the doors for them a lot, for Amazon to make a lot more money, because once they realize that they actually, when they open up this attribution model, and they can connect, for example, the Facebook Business Manager with Amazon somehow and start giving you data about what's happening on an individual campaign, because we cannot put our own codes on Amazon. It's going to open up the door for a lot of sellers like us to invest money on advertising instead of just investing money on advertising on our own channels, get them to Amazon. So it will flow a lot of power back to them. I'm sure they're trying really aggressively to fix this, because it only makes sense that if people can just focus on attribution on Amazon and don't have to go and build their own sites, and they can see the data and they don't have to just blindly trust. You know, this is the way it's been, right, Curtis? Like, I ran a campaign and my sales went up. I think that it worked. I actually have a feeling that it worked. I got 10 sales yesterday and I used to get 7 sales. So I think that it's working. So let's keep on pouring more money there. And you don't even know.
And for all you know, you changed a picture on your listing and that's actually what did it.
Correct.
You don't know right now. Yeah.
Correct. You can't trust a system like that, for sure.
Yeah. So diving back to KPIs, and this is a good kind of like Amazon 101, but it's also good for a lot of people. Some people have a product that's just, like you said, a unicorn. But in all cases, Amazon is getting more and more competitive. So we track 4, sometimes 5 main statistics that would be considered like your key KPIs, your key performance indicators. First one would be sessions. How many people are actually landing on your page? So that's going to be organic or that's going to be paid, but they're landing on your listing. And from that, so long as you have, you're seeing that high buy box percentage. Now, high buy box is going to be 90 to 100%. If you start dropping below then and there's some consistency there, you're probably, as a private label seller, getting someone's hacked your listing or something like that. But what you're doing in there, if you're seeing good, sessions, you want to then jump over to conversions, because it's great to get a lot of good traffic, but if you're not actually then generating sales from your sessions, that means that you're either getting horrible traffic if it's coming from outside Amazon, or if it's coming from inside Amazon, maybe you're actually competing for words that don't actually convert for your product. But when you're there, it could be, hi, you have bad images. You are not actually making sure that the proper keywords are in your listing. You got to make sure that your your listing communicates to a person. It has to be well written. If you're just keyword stuffing so that the Amazon algorithms can find you, the problem is that people are looking at your listing going, this is ridiculous. It makes no sense. So conversion kind of from sessions is important. But then here's the thing. If you're converting, you have to know your profit. Now, this is where I'm kind of surprised when I look at other of our competing softwares that they're missing a couple very key features. We obviously, we know what are your sales, what is it that Amazon's taking, and then from there you're getting your Amazon payout. But that is obviously not your profit figure because there's no telling, who you are paying in terms of staff. There's no telling what ads you're using to drive traffic in. You've got all of these other elements that actually eat at that profit figure. So, so managed by stats, we do something where you have, you're obviously going to put in your cost of goods. You're obviously going to have your, actual landed costs. So, what is it that you're spending before it gets to Amazon? But then also you have additional expenses. These could be customs fees that you didn't expect came up. These could be Facebook ads that you're running to drive traffic in. Anything and everything that you want to actually monitor that is a deduction off your profit, you need to know that because you have to look at it this. Go ahead.
So it became more like you're managing software to really help you understand what your business is actually profiting or losing overall. So it's not just a simple let me give you inventory management, and let me give you keyword recommendations and whatever. It's like actual management of your business.
Right. Because you can look at it this way. If you have conversions going up, but profits going down, you have a problem. Because what you could be running into is one, either your cost of goods, what you're actually having to pay to get your product to Amazon, more likely not to get to Amazon, but actually produce the product. That might be an area where you need to revisit that, get better pricing per unit. But then the other area is that ad cost. Because if you're paying too much to Amazon to actually get a sale on not on the organic side, but on the paid side, then that's where you need to reevaluate some strategy there. And honestly, Manuel, I'm sure that you are seeing this with Facebook and all other platforms. It's getting complicated. These platforms, complicated is the wrong word, robust. These platforms and what they can do on the advertising side is getting very robust, but it makes it so that if you're a solo entrepreneur and you're running your Amazon business, you need to start looking at getting some help out there. We, for instance, noticed this as a very heavy trend, and we started PPC Logic for this reason to assist people in the managing of their pay-per-click on Amazon because it gets intense. It gets really intense.
PPC Logic is a program inside Managed by Stats, correct?
Yeah, so the way it ends up working is it is a Managed by Stats program. And right now, in order to use PPC Logic, you have to be a Managed by Stats customer. But we're talking price ranges that are so low that you can have both. And it's still far more competitive than most of our competitors out there. But okay, so what it is it's manager, human-guided artificial intelligence, machine learning. So essentially, the way you can kind of look at this is if you want to have a healthy PPC campaign for any kind of product, there are 15, 17 actions that you can do at any regularity to make sure that it actually performs well. And you could be doing these on a monthly basis, which isn't going to be necessarily very effective because things change in that month. You could do it on a weekly basis. But once you get down to the point where you're trying to do it on an hourly basis, if you have any number of products, there's no way. It's not possible. You would be a full-time PPC manager for your own product. So PPC Logic, we're going to sit down with you, establish, okay, what is your strategy? Are you launching? Are you looking to really just increase your sales? Are you looking to just maintain natural growth? We're going to look at all these different strategies. And then based on that, we're going to structure artificial intelligence to actually line up with what you're trying to achieve. So those 15 to 17 actions that you should be doing on each of your search terms, in each campaign, we're doing those actions multiple times a second, where a person just can't do that. You can't keep up with that kind of velocity. And that is designed to give someone an advantage. And we found it to be amazingly effective for anyone whose gross revenue monthly is above 10K. Below 10K, it's challenging. They're a little too new. We found that it's not cost effective for the person. But it's one of those areas that tends to encapsulate a lot of someone's time and energy and attention. And this is something that makes it so you can kind of focus on the 101 other actions that you have to do as an Amazon seller, especially if you're running solo.
So below 10K, focus on doing it yourself. Get good at it. Get your feet wet with the platform and get some results with PPC. Understand the basics of it, and once you get to 10K, you can scale yourself aggressively with a better tool like that. Correct?
Yeah. Well, and what we would suggest below 10K, you mentioned the main points. You have to make sure your listing is strong. We focus on people being what's called PPC ready. If you're not ready to really attack from a paid perspective marketing, you're going to throw away money. It's an all but guarantee. So you need to actually be prepared to advertise. And that is listing. You want to make sure that you have good images, bullet points, make sure you're actually tracking and hitting the correct keywords. It's important to do a reverse ASIN search on your competition, mainly because you need to know areas that they're doing well so you can copy those and attack them on your side. And then also, once you know what those strong keywords are, you want to make sure that they're heavy in your listing. And on top of that, that you're actually doing advertising specifically on those terms. So,
right. I would add to that, Curtis, that a hot tip for those of you guys, because I love practicality. This is something that we know as Amazon sellers. You're not gonna start advertising, investing money, your hard-earned dollars, unless you have that listing ready to convert. If you guys don't know about the Amazon platform, PPC, which is pay-per-click, is an important element to the platform. Amazon will help you find people to purchase your products. You have to pay for that click. And if you pay for that click and you don't get them to convert, you're not going to be able to successfully profit from these campaigns. You want to have your images, your title, your bullet points, keywords. You want to have even something called A+ content, which is something that Amazon allows you to do now. So you can make the listing pretty. This is your piece of real estate on the internet world. It is your place where people are going to come and visit you and judge you to decide whether they should trust you or not. Obviously, Amazon is also a platform built on reviews. So if you don't get other people to give you opinions about your product, unbiased opinions about your product, then you're going to not be able to convert. So there's elements like that, especially in competitive markets, that you need to take into account. One hot tip that I'll give you guys right now, for those of you guys that are looking for very practical things to execute on, if you're looking for creative inspiration on how to make your products look, how to make those images, if you want to know how to create videos and the keywords that people are using and the title that you should put and how do you write your bullet points, etc., a good place that I like to use for inspiration, guys, it's a really, really good place. If you guys go to Google, all right, which is a friend of all of us, and you search for, Facebook ad library, all right, this place is a library, right? Literally a library of information about your competitors. All you gotta do is go in there and you search any ads that are being launched on the Facebook platform. So let's say, for example, that my competitor is Nutrisystem, which is a fact. I have a company called Natural Slim. We sell weight loss supplements and we help people with their weight loss goals. Nutrisystem is a big competitor. All right, so let's see if we can find out what they're doing. I just go to the Google. Again, if you're wondering how to find it, this ad library, forget about a link. Go to google.com and search Facebook ad library. We're not going to get into the history as to why this exists, but what I can tell you is that Facebook is the company, the public company most attacked in the history of the society. No other company has been more vilified, suppressed, criticized, attacked on Facebook. Mr. Zuckerberg in 2019 was put in Congress. He was attacked. The company was, they've got it really hard. They've been through a lot. So because of that, they actually created a whole transparency mission. There's not a single brand in the world that is able to advertise on Facebook without showing the entire place and the entire world of whoever wants to know exactly what they're advertising, products that they're advertising, videos and images and the copy that they're using and all of it. So what a great inspiration platform. Aside from going to Amazon and looking at other products and competitors, what a great inspiration platform to see how people communicate about the brand. So you go over here and you search for Nutrisystem. I see this one over here. And I select all ads. And this thing starts showing up all these ads that Nutrisystem is running. And I can see the exact thing. I can see the images they're creating, the little videos they're creating, what copy they're using, what call to actions they're using. And I can see what they're running and how long they've been running it and all that stuff. And it tells me, wait a second, these guys must be onto something because they're running ads on social media. This is how they're doing it. So you can use that for creative inspiration that's going to help you convert and make your brand look bigger than maybe what it is. And which it was my mission, by the way. When I created my 𝗟𝗘𝗔𝗥𝗡 brand, Curtis, what I wanted to do is make people feel that I was a massive corporation. And the fact of the matter is that it was me and two partners in our pajamas, in our kitchen, in the middle of the night, building our brand after our 9-to-5 jobs. And we ended up selling $600,000 a month in our second year. Ended up selling that company in 2017. And it all started in our kitchen in pajamas. So you're trying to make your brand look like it's more than what it actually is. There's a saying in the world of marketing, fake it until you make it. Well, you can use what other people are doing to your advantage so you can make your brand look like this powerhouse of a brand and convince people that you're really good and that your products are fantastic and build and build and build until you get that trust factor and now you are for real. My Natural Slim brand has done over $50 million a year in 2020, over $50 million internationally, and we have expanded incredibly. Just 10 years ago, we didn't even have a single sale going on right now. So I can tell you that it gets to a point that you have that credibility built, but it's just one step and it's a grind and it's a day-by-day push every single day. All right. So I didn't mean to interrupt your advice, but I wanted to just throw that. I wanted to throw that in there, Curtis, because you want to convert, but you want to be able to utilize what other people are doing successfully. And you said that there's something that that Managed by Stats has to help people find out what competitors are doing, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have a full reverse ASIN tool that you can throw in the ASIN of a competitor, and you're going to see all the relevant keyword information that you need to dissect their success and duplicate it.
So if you guys don't know what ASIN is, it's what does it stand for? I know it's the identification number. Do we know what it stands for?
It's not on the tip of my tongue, but basically you can kind of think of like the barcode that represents a unique identifier for every single product that is on Amazon. So it's just that unique identifier that only represents one product. So that's kind of basically, okay, so we were talking about that conversion point. So you want to make sure if you have conversions, in other words, more sales, that you are seeing your profit remain comparable to those sales and work to increase that profit. Because if you are losing your shirt on pay-per-click or your cost of goods too high or something, you need to evaluate that, because there are these huge companies that look great on paper if you just look at the gross revenue, but if you look at the profit, insolvency doesn't work as a business strategy for very long. You're going to see that creep up on you, and especially in these times, because you alluded to something there that is still going on right now, which is that in 2019, Zuckerberg was in front of Congress. 2020, Mark Zuckerberg, and then from Twitter, you have Jack Dorsey, and then with Amazon, you have Jeff Bezos. All three of them have probably been the most recurring public business figures in front of Congress in 2020. I could be slightly wrong in terms of the most, but you're seeing a lot of antitrust, meaning that Congress is concerned that these businesses are so big that they are, eliminating the ability for competition to come in. So what does that actually mean for you as a seller? It means a couple things. One, like you mentioned, you're going to see more of these transparency tools. You're going to see things where they're going, okay, let's see. We either give a little bit on transparency and make the platform a little bit more open, or we run the risk of Congress saying, hey, listen, you now need to be 2 or 3 different companies. So of course they're going to do those things. But on top of that, specifically with Amazon, you want to make sure you have a good business. You want to make sure you have a business that has solid profit. You want to make sure that you're setting aside money just in case something happens, because we've seen Amazon crack down on a number of things, which at first glance, you'd be like, this is horrible, because your listing goes down for some reason you had no idea about. But what's actually happening is Amazon as a platform, not just in PPC, is maturing across the boards. They're getting slammed for third-party sellers selling things that are not necessarily high quality products. In fact, they might be horrible products. So they're getting slammed for things like that. So they're making it a little bit more challenging to even come on as a seller. And I think they're at the point where they're actually doing an interview with you over the phone before you can become a seller.
Wow. I hadn't heard about that. That's incredible.
I heard rumor of this, and it's just these kind of changes are being done to actually ensure that this platform matures and that it actually maintains a high quality product that consumers can continue to trust into the future.
Credibility. They want to keep their credibility, right? Their trust.
Yeah, that's right. So like you said, Facebook has been under fire for the last year and a half relentlessly. Same with Google, same with Twitter, same with Amazon. These guys are just being hammered. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a bad thing for there to be more transparency in these areas. It's a great thing because we see a lot of. Here's the thing. I don't want to get into politics from a political standpoint of who's better, who's worse, but we have a change of guard potentially occurring with the presidency. And that just means that things are liable to being shifted because Republican, Democrat, they're different. They have different perspectives of what is proper business, how are we going to help people? And because of that, as a business owner, you just need to be prepared. You need to know that you're a profitable business. You need to make sure that a segment of that profit is actually being set aside just in case some curveball gets thrown. What it will be, nobody knows. If let's say somehow Trump is still in the White House, you and I both know by what he's already done with China that he has the intent of continuing to kind of crack down on things with China. He wants to balance the trade. He wants what we're receiving from China to be equal to what China's buying from us. So that's something we know Trump wants to do. Biden has been compared most commonly to Barack Obama, obviously, and Bill Clinton, both of which have had a more favorable set of policies toward China. So in either case, you need to know that, there are the two things that can affect you. There's getting your product from China, wherever you're sourcing it from, and then actually selling it in the United States. Those are your two factors when you're selling on Amazon or any business that's that e-commerce kind of platform. So you need to be prepared for any changes that could happen in those areas. And all that's going to mean, you just need to have sound business practices. That's the thing that's going to get you through this no matter what. And that is just kind of like a little bit of light in that area. That's one big piece of advice. Does it have to do with Managed by Stats? Yes and no, it does, because you need to be able to properly track your profit. And if you don't have huge additional expenses being tracked, maybe you're not as profitable as you think, or maybe you're more profitable than you think, and you need to attack a little bit more aggressively. Those nuances are hugely important in the world of marketing and e-commerce. And I'm sure you would agree with that.
Absolutely. So Curtis, we're getting down to our final few minutes now here. So I want to get a sequence of steps. I know you have a lot of data to share. If somebody wants to, let's say that they already have a brand on Amazon and they want to take it to the next level, and they haven't been able to succeed as much as they wish they would they had on 2020, which a lot of brands have taken off. What would you recommend that they do if they believe in their brand and they
Yeah.
know it's a good brand, what are some important things that they can do, practical things that they can do right now to start getting more visibility, getting more conversion, and improving their overall Amazon brand? What would you say to that?
Yeah, sure. This is, I guess, the time for shameless plugs, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
One, there's the two sides. There's the on Amazon and off Amazon. Off Amazon, I would say work with people like you. Mainly because if you're not driving outside traffic, you're limiting your reach. The more you can reach, the more you can touch people, the more you can actually bring new clients into the door. And then from there, okay, good. On Amazon, we have seen some really, really impressive numbers with PPC Logic, having that management side there, because you're able to put some order and logic into an area where for a lot of sellers there's very little information or a lot of time being spent there. Make sure you track your profit. Make sure you track your numbers. We're about to come out with a supply chain tool, which is going to it's unbelievable. There are some brands that we're seeing that have a lot of components that they need to kind of track along the way, because here's the thing, the biggest way to kill any kind of gains that you're having on Amazon is to run out of stock. If you run out of stock, you go out of business.
We've been through that pain. Many of us have.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have. So I would say that there's so many things you could do. But for a pro tip, for anyone who is sitting in that enhanced brand content area, their brand registry, take another solid look at getting video campaigns set up. Maybe it might just be because they're brand new, but video campaigns are seeing amazing ACoS. We're seeing costs that are much lower in that arena, mainly because it's a new service. Okay, inside Peak, not Amazon related, but I have a good friend who is he has a production company. Amazon has been approaching production companies like crazy to basically pull them in as partners, content production partners. Amazon is reaching out to high level brands and actually saying, hey, we have this, vetted production company that can put video content together for you that you can then put on Amazon and get that leg up. Amazon really wants to make video campaigns a thing. So do what you can if it's intelligent for your business, and no one can determine that but you.
Right, and we have also seen a lot of success with that, Curtis, video campaigns. So do you know what is the recommended length of these videos that are being used on Amazon right now? 100%. The reason why it's working so well, and I can tell you which it's been pretty dramatic. In some cases, the exact same keywords are giving us a 5%, 3% ACoS, which is the average cost of advertising sales. Yeah. So it's been a big difference on how we convert with these videos. There's a few reasons for that. Number one, like Curtis said, it's new. And at some point, it's not going to be new anymore, and everybody's going to be doing it. And right now, I can tell you, because there's a lot of lazy Amazon sellers, many of Amazon sellers over the years, they've gotten used to get sales from Amazon just because they got there early enough in their position or whatever. So there are some lazy Amazon sellers. They don't put the energy into getting these videos done. So there's a few of us that are doing them. And because of that, supply and demand, when the videos get presented, there's less people presenting these videos. And there's people that are seeing these videos and they feel that brand must be professional, because we are living on a video and an audio visual world. Look at Facebook, look at YouTube, look at LinkedIn. These platforms are built on video right now. So if you're able to integrate video into the Amazon platform itself, it's going to take your brand to a whole new level. And that's why it's so powerful. Also, at some point, like we've always done over the years, marketers will ruin it. There's going to be enough of us that are going to do it and do it and do it and do it, and it's going to be crowded, and the price of advertising is going to go skyrocketing, and then it's not going to make sense anymore. But for now, right, I would tell you, and I'm going to emphasize on this particular point, 2021, it's the year in which you go really deep on video search ads, and also figuring out how do you do those videos into your listings, which I know some brands, is everybody able to do this right now, Curtis? Can they add videos on their listings right now? Or I know there's some categories.
No, I think you have to be a trademark brand and have brand registry in order to get enhanced brand content. But realize that that's not actually as scary of a process as most people think. Amazon created their own trademarking service. Usually trademarking can take a year, 2 years to actually get your trademark. If you do it through Amazon, I think it's within the first couple of weeks they open up brand content because their lawyers know what to look for. And if they know they can get you trademarked, they don't care about you physically having the trademark. But that is kind of that's the ticket to really play in the big leagues now. You have to be brand registered. This is a branding game now. It's a marketing game more so than really anything else. You have to have a good product. You have to work on building that brand. That's why off Amazon traffic is so important. That's why they're making it so that these enhanced brand content strategies like video campaigns are only available to registered brands with trademarks, because they know that that is the only way that they can really safeguard themselves as a platform and safeguard the customers on their platform. So
Right.
Huge strategy. If you're not in that arena, make sure you do it. It's well worth the couple grand, I think it is, that you pay Amazon for it. It might even not be that expensive. It might only be a couple $100s.
Right, I don't think it's expensive. Yeah, so a little side note, I believe it's not called enhanced brand content anymore. I believe it's called A+ content. They changed the name recently. So in case you're wondering, I know Ernesto's over here, he confirmed that that's a change. Is that correct, good. Ernesto? Yeah, so that the new name for that enhanced brand content is A+ content, and you're gonna see that in your Seller Central account. And basically what this means is that you have the ability to create like a micro landing page in the Amazon listing, and you can add images and a lot more copy and descriptions, and there's templates for it, and it's like building our own mini website on every single listing, and it looks very professional. So that's something that I know that we're doing for our brands, and it's taking your brand to a next level in which it looks more professional, and these are important things. So what Curtis is saying, just to emphasize on that point, 2021 and beyond is the year in which you focus on the quality of your brand. Having that brand registry on Amazon, building your off of Amazon channels. Somebody asked over here, I believe it was Chelsea, she asked, so are you guys saying connecting your Shopify website to go directly to Amazon? No, what we're saying here, Chelsea, and I know those things are possible. I think you can make some...
Yeah, you can have fulfillment be through Amazon.
There's some integrations, like even if you have a Shopify site and you don't have an Amazon listing, I know Shopify has created some integrations that you can press a couple of buttons and your Shopify listings go, all of them, to Amazon, and you become an Amazon seller, just like that. So I never done that before, so please don't take my word for it. I know it's there. I see it every single day. I see when you go to Shopify, you can sell on a channel, and you can add a new channel, and you can select Amazon as a channel. And yes, I'm sure that you're gonna have to create a Seller Central account and get approval and all those things. But whatever you have on Shopify, with a simple click of a mouse, you're gonna be able to get it over there to Amazon and get your listings, and then just it's becoming an omnipresent world. You want to be everywhere. Right. So just to answer Chelsea's comment on it, we're saying that what Curtis said at the beginning is that you want to use your outside traffic to give Amazon some love and give it the signals that it needs and wants to be able to get you better positioning on the Amazon platform. And once you get all the way to the top and you're doing well, you can switch over to just your Shopify channel. So from Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, get traffic to Amazon, get sales, get conversions, go up the rankings, and then at some point you can switch over and go from Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. You can go into your Shopify site and get conversions there on that site directly and make a little bit more money because you control that conversation, and you also get to acquire the lead, which you don't get to acquire on Amazon. When somebody buys on Amazon, these people are Amazon's customers, not yours. When you get them to buy on your website, your Shopify site, for example, you get to control that entire identity, phone numbers and emails, what you say, what you not say to these people. It's all in your hands and nobody else's hands. So that's something that, again, there's pros and cons on these two areas, right? Because you're not going to get to 100 million potential customers, not anytime soon. It took
Right.
Amazon a lot of time. They built it. They're geniuses. It's about taking advantage of what they put there in front of you, and you can leverage that particular thing. By the way, Curtis, somebody here on the audience, I believe is one. It was Ray from my team, Rain. She said ASIN stands for Amazon Standard Identification Numbers. That simplifies it.
Yeah,
All right.
very simple.
All right, so there you go. There you guys have it. That's a really hot tip right there. 2021, focus on brand quality. Focus on getting enhanced brand content, which is A+ content. Focus on video, creating these video search ads, which, by the way, Curtis, you can submit them on the PPC platform right now, right?
Video content right now is done, I think, exclusively in Seller Central. We're working on that. Amazon opened up a special marketing connection for third-party companies like ourselves. So we're in the design beta process in that area. Also, PPC Logic is working on adding support. We will have that soon for these video campaigns, but that's something I think you do inside of Seller Central.
Okay, so if you want to test out some video ad campaigns, I believe that you can create a video which is, do you know the length of these videos? 30 seconds, a minute?
Well, and I know that I've seen these videos multiple minutes on Amazon, but I think it goes for any video. You're only going to have the attention span of the audience you are going to attract. So 30 seconds, a minute, past that, if it's not engaging, no one's going to watch it.
Exactly. So focus on getting some of these videos made. If you guys don't know how to make videos, just go ahead and go to the Facebook ad library, find some examples, contact somebody on any of these platforms that can help you produce videos, like Fiverr, onlinejobs.ph, there's upwork.com, and so on. These companies can help you produce videos. You can find somebody that can help you produce a high quality video for your brand that you can utilize and plug in and just keep on advertising over and over. You can easily, because of the amount of people on Amazon, use the same video for a year or more and get it to convert. So that's something important to do. Final question, Curtis. If somebody wants to get registered on Amazon as a brand, like get Amazon brand registry, do you have any tips or advice to get that done in this environment?
You want to make sure that obviously you've done your homework going into your brand. If you've got a name that can't be trademarked, then obviously you've got a little bit of an issue. So long as you did your homework going into the game, once you're ready to kind of cross that bridge, contact Amazon. We highly, highly suggest doing it through Amazon. The time frame is nothing compared to doing it yourself. They have a whole team of lawyers who their only interest is getting you brand registered. That is definitely, I would say, the biggest, cleanest cut piece of advice that we can give on that. Each case is different. Some people, it's very complicated, and then they need an attorney even before they dive in. But I would say if you've actually made sure that your name doesn't conflict, your symbol doesn't conflict, you're going to have a much easier time with it.
Great. By the way, I did hear right now that it is a 60-second limit on these videos.
Okay, good.
All right.
Yeah, so I would say 30 seconds, though, because, let's face it, people have shorter attention spans. They're being bombarded with marketing all the time. Shorter the better. So long as you actually fill the information void, shorter the better.
Okay, there you have it. So 2021, make it a big part of your strategy to create video content for your brand. You can use that video content off of Amazon channels, on social media, on all over the place, and then also utilize it on the PPC platform.
Yeah.
Okay, Curtis, thank you so much for being a part of the show. I appreciate you very much. I know that we should definitely do this again. If somebody wants to access Managed by Stats and utilize that platform, can you tell me 5, just like rapid fire, 5 important benefits that an Amazon seller can take advantage of with Managed by Stats, so we can actually then tell people how to sign up?
For sure. So the 5 things that most basic things, you're going to be able to monitor your basic finances from beginning all the way to profit, so you actually know if you've got a good business. You're going to be able to manage your inventory and your supply chain. You're going to be able to go through, and we have a whole suite of tools called Catapult, which is finding the product, then you're actually making sure that you have the keywords that go with that with reverse ASIN. You're going to be able to then put those into a listing, monitor keywords. These are things that are very important to starting any new product, whether you're a veteran or a new seller. These things are huge. And then lastly, you have access to areas that you don't have access to without Managed by Stats. You have access to PPC Logic. We also have a partnership with a company. You can check them out, bullfrogdata.com. They actually make it so you can get those names, addresses, and real email addresses for your customer list, but you can't get access to that without also having Managed by Stats. So there's some important benefits to Managed by Stats that make it kind of invaluable, I would say, to a brand that really wants to kick off in 2020.
Which, by the way, if you had people's identities, that's game, because you
lookalike
have phone numbers
audiences.
and emails.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you can not only that, it opens up many doors, because as you guys know, the outside world of Amazon is built on recurring revenue. Companies are built on people buying more than once from you, many customers. I mean, there are some unique products out there that are only one-offs, but a lot of us are buying things over and over. Natural Slim is 80% recurring over here. If we don't have our customers keep on buying from us, we're not who we are today. When you're on Amazon, you don't get to build that relationship like that. So if you get to have the identities of people, and then you can email these people, and you can target them on social media, which we don't want to get into a controversial subject here. That's something for you guys to do. But the main thing is that you can also use that to create lookalike audiences, which is something that I teach quite a bit about. You can grab the entire list of Amazon buyers and emails and their numbers and plug it into a platform like social media and have them find you a similar audience to them with the same interests, the things that they like, engagement, online buying, routines, all these things that help you find somebody similar to that. So something that I highly recommend that you guys all do as you're trying to build your off of Amazon brand along the way.
And if it's a moral question, just send the traffic back to Amazon then. Hey, you have nothing to lose. You'll have a ranking advantage that other people won't.
Right, that way you feel like you're not betraying the trust of the
Jeff Bezos
smile.
will be much happier.
He will be happier. Yeah, he's very concerned about that. He's very concerned about you.
Yeah, very concerned. He doesn't want his tens to hundreds of billions to be, encroached upon.
That's right. I think I heard the other day that Jeff Bezos is more valuable than 87% of the countries out there. Has a bigger cap overall. It's incredible that one human being has such a high net worth. It's
literally mind-boggling.
It's like, what can you not buy? You can buy every country in the world, and you can buy all these things. I mean, it's crazy stuff what he has been able to accomplish. Anyways,
it
Curtis,
would be like he'd be in the running when Greenland, for some whatever random reason, U.S. was looking to buy Greenland. He could be like, actually, I think I could give you a better deal. It's crazy.
Exactly. Curtis, how do they sign up if they want to take advantage of any intro offers that you guys have going on? Stats?
Definitely. Well, we are significantly more competitive in pricing than most anyone out there. Head over to managedbystats.com. You can sign up right on the top of the page. If there's more info you want, you can go managedbystats.com/knowyourbusiness. And that kind of lays out some of the tools a little bit, just easier to flow through. But either or, we're very easy to get a hold of. Definitely make sure to check us out. We also, we've thrown out a lot of content on YouTube. So just search Managed by Stats on YouTube and you'll find us. That's how we connected last time with the original podcast. So it's an ever evolving world.
You interviewed the Facebook Ninja a couple weeks ago, and the video was there. So that should be valuable for Amazon sellers that they want to get some data on my process for building Amazon brands and things like that. All right. Thank you very much for coming, Curtis. It's been great. We could keep on talking about this for hours and hours and hours, but we have to get to work on other matters. You got an organization to run, and so do I. So again, we have to do this again. A lot of you guys that are here, thank you for joining on the podcast, for listening on the podcast, for being on Facebook, for being on YouTube. I appreciate you guys very much, and subscribe and roll. And I will see you guys on the next one. Curtis, I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, so guys, before I head out, one thing that I want to mention is that I have been pushing a lot on my texting line, all right? So if you guys haven't sent me a message, I'm super into that, and this is a line that I use myself only, and nobody else is moderating it, nobody else is engaging it. I'm getting these messages myself, so if you guys want to send me a message, if you want to ask me a question, if you have any comments about whatever, I am super into this right now, all right? So 813-212-2196. You say hi. There's going to only be one automated message ever, and that's the enrollment message. Other than that, you get to connect with me, all right? So send me a message there. Tell me what your business is, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any feedback, or you want to suggest content that I need to put out, whatever the case may be, please send me a message. I'm super into connecting with you. One of my main missions in 2021 is providing as much value as possible to all of you so you guys can get one step closer towards whatever you envision for your business. So send me a message there, 813-212-2196. Again, it's a promise. I can guarantee you that nobody else answers these messages. I don't get to all of them every single day. I do definitely try. I eventually get to all of them. But when you get a message here on that platform, it's a text message to me, you know it's from me and nobody else. That's an absolute guarantee. So send me a message there if you're interested. If you're listening on the podcast, 813-212-2196. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, 813-212-2196. And then we can connect a little bit more and see how I can help you. If you're here an hour and 10 minutes into this particular episode, you're probably looking for some enormous training and value. So because of that, what better opportunity for you to connect with me and see how I can help you keep on moving your business forward. All right, guys, I will see you on the next Social Marketing Hour, which, by the way, we just confirmed our speaker for next week. Our guest is going to be Jeremy Ryan Slate, who is the host of Create Your Own Life podcast, a friend of mine. He's going to be talking about the process of podcasting and how to create a podcast from scratch and how to get attention and how to promote it and these things that he has very successfully done over the years. He has a really big podcast.